Have you ever thought about a character from a show that you watched growing up that you just dreaded to see on the screen? Whether they were good or bad or just a side character even, there were some characters I could think of off the top of my head from some of my favorite childhood movies and cartoons that gave me nightmares or just weird vibes. The character that I am discussing today actually comes from an old TV show. A TV show that ran from the late 70s to the mid 80s from our friendly chaps in the UK. And despite the name of the show now being connected to a famous horror movie franchise here in America, it was anything but that back in the day. Although this one character gave some British children those kinds of serial killer-esque vibes. The TV show that I will be talking about today aired on the BBC from the years 1979 through 1984. And it was called Jigsaw. Aired in the UK toward the demographic of children ages 4 to 8 years old, it was a reading and writing themed television show that revolved around characters piecing together puzzles to figure out a word of the week or a sentence. Really benign and wholesome educational stuff. Of course, they encourage the people who are watching and the children who are watching at home to help solve the puzzles along with various characters to help them along with it. The show never really revolved around a singular character, but instead had an ensemble cast. One character that is present more than others is Jig, a floating jigsaw puzzle piece with a smiley face. And while this show is pretty much forgotten now by its entertainment value, there's one character that keeps the legacy alive in a sort of bad way, giving children nightmares, tormenting them, and even some celebrities in the UK that have come out and expressed their complete disdain and hatred for this entity. The only legacy that this show that has left now is Noseybonk. Oh my god, there's a Noseybonk child. Oh my god, I can only imagine what the hell Noseybonk sounds like when he gets laid. And now seemingly had a kid and just abandoned the baby mama. Oh my god. He's played by British pantomime artist Adrian Headley, who also makes appearances outside of the Noseybonk character on Jigsaw as the presenter of the series. But just watching Noseybonk alone, I could see how he can come off as creepy. For me, it's that plastered, toothy smile and eyes with seemingly no expression except endless excitement. Despite the creepy serial killer-esque mask that he wears, I have major respect for the creations of characters who don't speak, but instead are more vocal by their actions and expressions. These kinds of actions can express thousands of words that a sentence cannot basically tell you what their personality is. But Noseybonk has given plenty of people nightmares, even some British children. And there's been plenty of celebrities who have come out and talked about how creepy they found the Noseybonk character to be, such as Charlie Brooker of the British series Screen Wipe, who has said that Noseybonk, he described it as a leering death mask figure who haunts your dreams and stabs you numerous times while you sleep. Which, yeah, given all the creepypastas online that have kept Jigsaw's legacy alive, seems to illustrate that Noseybonk is the most likely candidate to do that kind of thing. But most fans of the show are people who have fond memories and just hate this character alone, seemingly have the most misunderstood part about Noseybonk himself, which is his overall nature. You can't just judge a book by its cover. I mean, appearances sure are creepy and send off those really evil intent and vibes, but they choose to be afraid of his appearance, and they choose to be afraid of him, but don't really understand the value that the character has. So my take on it is, especially after footage of Noseybonk started becoming well known to the public via the internet, the only thing is his appearance is the only thing that I find really weird about him. When he's not growing his dick plants, he's giving expressive hints to the young audience watching the show, a figurative example to what the word of the week might be, and he does so in this comedic, vaudeville, physical acting manner. And it's also his creepy appearance that doesn't make him a bad character. Certainly a memorable one, but clearly he never presented ill intent and was enjoying himself and entertaining millions of British children viewing the program. It's only in recent years that Noseybonk has established this new perspective and personality from various creepypasta writers on the internet, and various people who found him creepy, hence dragging his character through the mud entirely, and Jigsaw is almost completely forgotten about except for Noseybonk. Noseybonk is the only reason that the legacy of the show is even kept alive. Overall, I see a character getting judged more from their looks than by their actions, which is what usually leads to characters getting into a legacy of being dragged through the mud. But I will admit, his appearance could come off as menacing to some people, but you shouldn't let appearances be your number one judgmental cause to what kind of character and what kind of personality that he has. Because Noseybonk overall is actually a pretty heartfelt and wholesome character. Only now do we have these bad lights to present him in that does make him seem like he's the kind of guy that would come into your room in the middle of the night to stab you to death. But in reality, he was never aimed towards that way. But appearances are deceiving, and you can't judge a book by its cover. Instead, judge by the values that the book has. And Noseybonk definitely isn't as fucking creepy as Mr. Blobby, so we have that.
No, Mr.